all been in the industry for a tremendous amount of years, and collectively, I think that, we're running the world here as far as it goes. Girl power. But did you always know that you wanted to work in the floral industry? I mean,
I absolutely never did.
Yeah, you told me some stories. Like last night, we were connecting, and I just was like, wow.
I was born into the industry. My grandparents started the company before I was born, and then my mom took over many years later. And I remember being in college and my father saying to me, "Well, Kristen, when you graduate, you're going to take over the business." And I was like, No, I have no interest in that. Whatever. I've seen my mother. She's been tortured. Valentine's Day. Oh, no, horror stories. And at the time, I wanted to go into the foreign service and work internationally, and I was studying international business and different things. And it's so funny because I was thinking about it on the way here today. At the time, our company was just in this little bubble. Like, I did not understand the big picture of the industry. Mm-hmm. We were like a hamster in a wheel. Okay, mm-hmm. Do the paperwork, do the sales, do the invoices. It just felt like this repetitive kind of thing. And it wasn't until I joined the business, when my mom asked me to just jump in and help for a little while, that I realized, oh my gosh, this is everything that I love about what I've been studying and what I've been doing. It just, the logistics of it all, the international, everything. So yeah, I was never going to work for the company, and my mom swore she would never hire family because she had worked for her mother, and it had ruined their relationship. And we're a very close family. So she had a key couple working for her, a warehouse manager and office manager, a married couple, and they came to her and said, "We want to move to Indiana, but we're going to give you like a month's notice because we know we're in key positions." They called me up, and my then boyfriend, "Okay, I said I'd never hire a family, but I'm really desperate. If you could please just jump in for like 4 weeks and cross-train under them, and then help me train their permanent replacements." I've been here for 29 years. Never look back.
Yeah. Well, that legacy is something too that I think as women we like to honor. It's like our mothers or our family. And I think that's something you carry with you.
I do. I feel very proud to carry the torch of the family business, the family name, knowing how we started out so meager. I mean, my grandmother and grandfather living in like a 1-bedroom duplex rental with no money, and then living in a mobile home. They put the office in the mobile home, and they were big time fancy then. So I love seeing where we've come from and where we are now. And I have 2 sons as well, and neither one of them are interested, so I'm trying to figure out. I might need to adopt a child to take over the company.
Sheila, you've been in the industry a long time as well.
I started at the Society of American Florists in 1992. So I've seen a lot of changes in the gamut of 30 years. I call myself a boomeranger. I make joke of it, but I stayed home for about 5 years. And then when I went to return, Kate offered me a position, and that was like 2004 or 5, and I've been back ever since. And people say, "Oh, how can you stay somewhere that long?" We're constantly changing, roles change. There's a great autonomy of like, what are you doing? What do you like? What are you good at? So we've been able to change and pivot as you change and pivot, because we change. Like every 5 years, I'm like, oh God, was that way 5 years ago? This is the new me. So it's nice that you can kind of do that within the organization that you work for, to be able to achieve like the thing that you're most passionate about.
And I think the industry starts becoming like a family. Even today, I am not familiar with Rob Shibata, who is just, but I felt after seeing this video, like I was almost in tears, like watching him. I was like, yes, you deserve it,
Those awards get me, like those are the worst of the year. Every time I'm always like, I'm crying or, very excited and nervous at the same time. And when they go up on stage, again, empathy. I'm like, oh gosh, he can't talk yet. Of course I wouldn't be able. I'm like going through my head a million times. Yeah.
The only thing I can relate to that is I became the director of development about 3 or 4 years ago, And I kept, and Kate's like, you're going to be, relationship building, get out, meet and network. So I go out more. And I've been fortunate enough to go to Colombia and Ecuador. It's a family, even in foreign countries. I'm like, this is my people. Yay!
They're all
So it feels
down.
big and vast when you say that the industry's worth like $52 billion a year, but it's so comforting, and everybody's so nice when you see them. I went to Ecuador for Expo Flora. I'm going to Pro Flora, and it's like family. They're like, hey, Sheila, it's nice to see you.
Yeah.
It's so great. I love it.
Well, I do feel like that, and I like Melanie. I see you all over the place too, and I'm like, my sister, there you are. So nice. How did you get started?
Oh man, my start in the floral industry was not like your ladies at all. I actually was looking for nothing. I had this job, I had this position, I was in line to be the next VP. It was actually at a paper party goods company. So like paper plates and napkins, but what goes better with a party than flowers and napkins? Paper plates, napkins, accessories. Anyway, so Syndicate Sales, the president of Syndicate Sales, which is our dear friend, a lot of our dear friend, Laura Schnall, she actually went to the same school that I did. And so there was an alum that hooked us up, and he was like, I know what Laura's doing, I know what Mel is capable of, because he was my boss. And he's like, you ladies really need to talk. And I was like, okay, wasn't looking. But we ended up going to Starbucks for 2.5 hours later, and it was like, totally.
Yeah.
It was like immediate. And with a lot of women that I meet in the industry, again, it feels like that. It just naturally happens. And it's like, it's a spark, it's magic. Just like the flowers, right? When you see them, it evokes a response. So yeah, I've been in the industry now for 7 years, and I absolutely love it. There was a period of time, during COVID where I had the opportunity to leave, and I absolutely wasn't willing to give up the relationships, the bonds, everything I've worked so hard to achieve, all the lovely people I've met. I didn't want to let that go.
Yeah.
So I'm still here.
Well, we wouldn't want to let you go.
No.
We're glad you're here.
Oh, you really like me.
Yeah.
It totally feels like a family.
Yeah, maybe. What is your
Well,
story?
first of all, I think Laura's one of those mentors in the industry where it's another, I guess, feminine characteristic. She's very nurturing. So like I met Laura at an SAF, the one that had the hurricane in South Carolina, and she had to leave. And here I was like worried about her, and I was the one that was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "I gotta rush to the airport to leave," and it's just like she's very like one of those women that makes you feel like women stay in the flower industry. So I think that's really cool. I started because of a monster.com.
We love Monster. That's why I'm here.
But my sister was already in the industry. My sister was working for Dole, which later was Sunburst, and my sister had told me like, "Oh, this. I think you would really like this. It's a creative. You're around a lot of quirky people like you." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." And it's also at that moment it was working for an international company like Chrysler, and I was like, "Oh, absolutely! I wanted to feel like that. I wanted to take my degree and put it to use." So I ended up, after like 4 or 5 interviews with Jim, and then finally got hired, and I'm so happy I did because it's been like a blessing. I really attribute a lot of like who I've become to the flower industry.
Yeah, that's amazing.